Hello and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I have a gift card holder to share with you, and it's perfect for Christmas, but you could tailor it to any occasion, just change the colours up. So it has a decorative belly band, and then inside you can put your gift card in there, and it will fit into a regular size envelope. And probably need a little bit of extra postage, but it's well worth that. So we're going to make a start. The first thing that we're going to do is to make the little envelopes that will hold the gift card, and I'm going to be using my envelope punch board and a piece of 5x5 designer series paper. Now I know the size that I need because here it gives me some instructions that for a gift card I need 5x5 piece of paper and I need to start my scoring at 2 inches. So I'm going to line up my left hand side here at the 2-inch mark, and I'm going to punch. And I find it easier if I use the heel of my hand to punch rather than to try and do it with my thumb. And then put my score in. I'm going to now turn it 90 degrees, and this little pointy thing here, I'm lining that up with my last score line, and I'm completely ignoring these measurements from this point forward. And I'm just going to punch and score, and again I'm going to line up with a little pointy piece here, punch and score, and then finally again there's my score line, there's my pointy bit, punch and score. If I turn my board around, this here is a corner rounder, so we're going to round each of the corners in turn. In you go. Lovely. And pop that back, set that aside. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold. I put my folds in, and this paper's quite thin. You really don't need to use a bone folder with it. There we go. And I'm going to be putting glue dots, and I'm going to put a glue dot on each of these internal flaps like that. Hold that down firm, and then with this flap I'm actually going to fold to the back like that. And you will need 2 of these, so I've gone ahead and I've already done one, and I'm going to use a tiny little bit of snail adhesive just to hold that flap in place. And then I've put a piece of tear and tape on the back of my little envelope, and I'm going to put them back to back, making sure that the openings are obviously at the top, and just line them up like that. Just press firmly, and then so I'm ready for the final assembly. I'm just going to put a piece of tape across the envelopes on both sides. So that's that part done. Then I'm going to make some little inserts to go in each of the pockets, and I've already made one. So you'll need 2 pieces of card, 3.5 by 2 in old olive, and another 2 pieces of 3.25 by 1 3/4 in white. So I'm just going to use a little snail to pop those 2 together. Now I've done some of my stamping ahead of time, and the set that I've chosen to use today is Christmas Pines. and I've chosen to use the, I think it's 'Tis the Season. I'm also going to be using this sort of dotty starburst one, and then inside I've put May Your Christmas sparkle with joy and happiness, and right here at the top there's a little holly leaf, and I used Old Olive ink to put the holly leaf here and Real Red to put my message in. Now the tab is made by this tab punch, and you'll need one for each insert, so I'm just going to do one of them at this time. You're just going to fold it in half like this, and you'll want to put some adhesive on the tab here in the center of one of the circles, and then on the tab there. And I want my tabs to be in opposite directions, so this one I'm going to put onto the left hand side, and I'm really just lining up the top of the tab here with the top of my piece of card, and then bringing it down like that. And so I've got my two pieces, and one will go in here and one will go in there, and the plain one is so that you can write your message to whoever the lucky recipient is of the gift card, and you'll be able to put the gift card in one side as well. So then we're going to move on and actually make the gift card holder, and for this I'm using a piece of Real Red cardstock, and it's 8 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I've scored it at 2 3/4 and 5 3/4. Now you don't need to try and make notes while you're watching the video, because if you go to my blog, and the link will be underneath this video, you will see a link to the blog there, and there will be dimensions and some more instructions there. So I'm going to take the piece of Real Red and the Starburst Dotty stamp that was from the Christmas Pine stamp set, and I just want to do some tone on tone stamping. I just want to give this a little bit of visual texture. So this is the outside, like that, and then I'm going to put some on the inside flap again, just to make it, give it something else to look at. There we go. I feel like somebody at the post office franking the mail. There we go. So we're done with that piece there. Now when you put your folds in, you'll see that the score lines don't exactly divide the piece into thirds. You're going to have a flap which is like 1/4 inch from the fold, and if you flip this over you'll see that this is probably somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch there. So you'll want this to be the bit where your gift card will go, and then this is the flap over. Now on my original I've decorated with some lacy edging here, and I made that out of Old Olive using this lace edge punch. I did it off camera because it is quite noisy, and you really don't want to sit and watch me just punch. So I'm going to use my silicone mat, and for this I'm going to use the liquid glue, and you don't need a lot, and I find that the liquid glue worked far better than snail. So all I'm going to do is to put the tiniest of dots along the edge here. Hopefully you can see that they are tiny. You don't want too much, otherwise it's going to splurge out and look ugly and make the rest of your work sticky. And I'm just going to fix that so it's sort of half on and half off my piece, like that. Just press firmly for a few seconds just for it to take, and then we're just going to trim. There we go. And then I have another piece of this same paper, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it's called. It's gone completely out of my head, but as I say, it will be on my blog. And this piece is 2 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm going to attach it again with a little bit of liquid glue. And I want to position it halfway between my fold and my decorative edge here, like that, and just press it firmly. And now I'm ready to put in my little envelopes. Like that. And you want to position them so that the little tabs are going to be within the 2 folds. So I'm centering it up this way like that, and my tabs are in a good place. I'm just going to fold that one over and press it firmly. Then we have our belly band. And this is 6 1/2 inches by 1 inch wide in Old Olive, and I'm going to start from the back and join in the front. So I'm going to fold that one over like that. Now you don't want to do it too tight, otherwise it'll make it difficult to put on and on, push off and on. And then I'm just going to bring that over so everything lines up like that, and put some folds in. And then I'm just going to use a couple of glue dots. I'll put it on the top because then I know it's in the right place, like that. Okay, so I'm just going to line it back up again. There we go. Isn't that lovely? And it will slide nice and freely. So for my decorative piece, I have got one of the lovely snowflake doilies from the Christmas catalogue, and I've got a 1 1/4 inch circle of red glimmer paper. And these doilies come in gold and silver in the same packet, so you can choose whichever ones that you'd like to use. And I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals like this, take the covers off and place that on the top like that. Let's get rid of that, don't need that anymore. And then I made myself a banner, and I've already stamped it with 'Tis the Season, and this is 4 inches by 3/4 of an inch, and I think I'm just going to take a little off and make myself a banner like that. I think I'm going to take a little bit off that side as well. Perfect. I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals, and I'm going to stick the dimensionals directly onto the glimmer paper because I don't want it to go anywhere else because the adhesive might go through and start sticking the belly band to the holder underneath. I'm going to set that at a jaunty angle. And then my final embellishment is a small bow from the Quilted Christmas ribbon from the holiday catalogue. And I'm just going to pop a glue dot on the back. And my envelope I stamped with a little coordinating holly leaves. And there we go. I mean, there you can put this here, you can move it along, whichever works for you. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this project. As I say, you can use most any colorways depending on the time of year or the occasion. And this gift card holder will work well for that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. As I say, more details are on my blog. Just follow the link at the bottom underneath this video. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.